Hi, this is Michael from the Brandjectory team. Welcome to the site overview for an investor. After we sign in, we start on the investor homepage. The layout is very similar to a social media page. You have a billboard picture, your portrait, your company name, a logo, your name and title at the company. At the top of the page, you have different menus available, the different pages on the site, your messages, notifications, and ways to edit your profile and adjust your settings. Within the main frame of the page, there's buttons to go to different pages, which we'll get to momentarily. The three columns here are summary information about your company and your investment criteria, your contact information, and your connections. On the right is your most recent communications and who recently viewed you. And in the middle, of course, are your updates that you've posted, any comments that you have made on other people's posts, as well as likes to other people's posts. If we move into the About section for the investor, there's an overview, your investment criteria, who's on your team, and the portfolio companies. So with regards to the overview, the identification of the type of investor that you are is at the top, and you have the opportunity to overview your company and identify your mission. The investment criteria is laid out very simply with 7 different investment criteria. There's a section here for your key people, and finally you can add your portfolio companies as confirmation of your current or past investments, as well as relation back to your investment criteria. When you're setting up your profile, there's a company section, a personal section, and your investment criteria. In every one of these sections, you have field level control over the privacy settings for that information. You can choose to display this information to everybody that sees your profile, only people that you're connected to, people that you're following, or only yourself. One of the key features of Brandjectory for an investor is the ability to search. The search feature allows you to search for either brands or investors. To quickly populate a search, you can use your profile criteria, you can use a save search, or you can conduct a new search and set your criteria accordingly. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to leave all of the criteria open. I can click on search and see my results. Once you have search results, you can take 3 different actions. You can click into their profile to view more about them. You can choose to follow them or connect with them right from the search result page. Following allows you to receive their updates that they post on their page in your newsfeed. When you connect to a user and a brand in particular, you then get access to privileged information that otherwise is not available to you. If I wanted to review this brand before making any connections or following decisions, I could click into their profile. I'm going to see information about them at a top-line basis, the category that they're in, their revenue range, their blended gross margin, attributes about the brand, summary information about their business, product information here, and posts that they've posted so that I could see what kind of activity they've been engaged in and make some evaluations. I can choose to comment or like right here from this page. To learn more, there's the About page, Products page, and Financials. On the About page, I had the ability to look at their overview, their differentiation, their categories and items, attributes, traction, and people. For the overview, they provide the overview in their own words as well as their mission. Within the differentiation section, there's the unique selling proposition and their IP. Within categories and items, they identify their product type, their primary category, and any additional categories. With the existing items in the market, we can identify the number of items, how long they've been in the market, both the oldest items as well as the newest items, and what kind of innovation they're working on for the next introduction in terms of number of items and when they expect to launch. A listing of their attributes and their traction. Traction at distributors, retail channels, if they have any international distribution, and the location count for brick and mortar stores. For key people of the founders and the executive team, we can read about them here, and we can also learn about their advisors. I'd like to learn more about the company, so I'll click into their products. And in the products, I see that they've set up two different ways to display their products. One is carousel and some information about their products, so the categories that they're in, the attributes of their products, a description about their products, product differentiators, their target customer profile, and their specific flavors or types. There's also a secondary way that I might see their information, which is actually their own website embedded within Brandjectory. And this is their site that I can learn more about their products and see how they're displaying to consumers. The next piece that I can learn about the brand before we're connected is their financials. On the financials page, I can look at three different parts of the business: their summary financials, their capital structure, and their raise status. The summary financials show a 3-year horizon, last year, this year, and next year, for revenue, gross margin, and EBITDA. The capital structure for this brand is being hidden. Brands do have the option for their financial information, their capital structure, and the raise status on this page to only be visible once you're a connected investor. In this case, the brand is displaying their summary financials and their raise status, but they're hiding their summary capital structure until after we're connected. And on the raise status, I can see whether or not they're raising, round, how much they're seeking, the type, whether or not they have a lead investor, and the use of funds. I'm interested in this brand. I'd like to connect with them, review their documents, and have a more in-depth engagement with them through the ability to chat. So I'm going to send them a connection request. When a connection request is sent by an investor, the brand receives a connection request notice. They have the ability to accept or decline the invitation, but they also have the ability to review your profile so that they can get a clear view of who's making the request and that they feel comfortable and interested in connecting back with you. When that brand clicks into your profile, you may recall that the privacy settings for your profile was set up as only me, meaning that no other investors that would be viewing your profile would see your information. However, when you send a request to connect with a brand or an investor, all of your privacy settings are set to all, so that the person that you are requesting an invitation to has the ability to review your full profile and make an informed decision about connecting. So as the brand who was requested to connect, I have the ability to see the posts that you've made, your summary information, and read the About page to learn more about you. As we saw here, I see your overview, your criteria, and your key people, and your portfolio companies. If I'm the brand, I decide that I'm going to accept the connection. The brand receives a notification that I am agreeing to give you access to my privileged information through my documents. Once a brand accepts my connection request, I'll get a notification. They accepted me as a connection. I can see that connection here on my connections page. On my connections page, I see all connections that are specifically raising, all of the profiles that I'm following, the profiles that I'm following that are raising, who I'm being followed by, who I have outstanding invitations to, my groups, people that I've sent a group invitation to, and my signals. I'll talk about signals in just a second. You can see here that I'm now connected to the Be Peaceful Drinks brand. I can also choose to message them directly from my connections page. Speaking of communications, I can manage and review all of my communications through my communications module. On my communications page, I have a list of everybody that I have communication with. I can also chat with somebody directly from the chat box, and the green dots tell me who's online. If somebody's online, I also have the ability to do a video call with them. Now that we're connected to Be Peaceful Drinks, I'd like to learn more about them. You'll recall we had the About, Products, and Financials page, but now we also have a Documents page. You'll also recall in the financials that the summary capital structure was hidden to connections only. Now that I'm a connection, I can see who's on their cap table, their total amount of capital raised since founding, cumulative equity owned by outside investors, and any other notes. I'd also like to look at their documents. On the Documents page, there's organization and segments for a pitch deck, a business plan, executive summary, financials, and other documents. The system also allows brands to save documents that are specifically saved at a URL through another service. As an investor, I have the ability to download this document, to view the document, or to save it. If I save this document, it's now saved into my library. Now that I've saved this document to my library, let's check it out. So I'm going to go to My Shared Documents, and here you can see all of the documents that I've saved from my different profiles that I'm following. Here's the one that I just saved. If the brand updates the document on their side, I'll also see a refresh button here to update the document automatically in my library after they've updated it on their end. When a brand searches for an investor, they select different criteria such as the product type, revenue range, investor type, and location. The search results do not reveal any specific information about the investor. The brand has the ability then to select the investor that shows up and send them a signal. A signal is a notification to the investor that the brand is on the site and they'd like you to check them out. As an investor, I would see who had sent me a signal through a notification here, as well as on my connections page within the Receive Signals subsegment. Here you can see that I've received signals from all of these brands, and I can choose to remove the signal, remove and block them so I am not signaled by them again. But of course I can also go into the brand and learn more about them. A brand is only able to send a signal to an investor once every quarter, so you won't be continually signaled by the same brand day after day. Let's conclude by looking at how we communicate with our network and we receive information about what's happening out on Brandjectory from my connections and those in my network. On my home page, I can post an update, which includes text, images, videos, and URLs. And those updates appear right here on my home page. And somebody who's visiting my page can comment or can like it. This here on my home page are only my updates. But on my newsfeed page, I see information that's been posted or my comments and likes to other posts from everybody that I'm connected to or that I'm following. Lastly, Brandjectory users have the ability to interact on groups. Every investor is part of the investor community group automatically when you sign up. In the investor community group and all groups, you can see a list of the members. And just like on the home page of your profile, you can post updates, make comments, and likes. The group also has the ability to save documents so that I can save documents that are specific to this group. My groups can be an opportunity for me to interact with a broader audience, such as the investor community. But I can also create a group that might be specific for a syndicate, where I'd like to interact with other investors and talk about potential deals. And I can also create groups that are related to a diligence process, where users involved in the diligence process are in the group and we can share updates, communicate, files, etc. right here on the site. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you on Brandjectory.